If you tie your giraffe to a lamppost in Georgia, you could get fined. No giraffe? Doesn't matter. The law's still on the books, and it's not alone. Because across the world, laws get made, but they don't always get unmade. Some are ancient, some are absurd, and some were clearly written after someone had a really bad week. So let's dive into 10 laws that are still technically legal, even though they absolutely sound fake. It's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland. Yes, this is a law. No, this isn't a Pixar short. In Switzerland, keeping a single guinea pig is considered animal cruelty. Not because guinea pigs are dangerous loners, but because they're too social. They get anxious, depressed, lonely. Imagine sitting in your room with no phone, no internet, no snacks for years. That's a solo guinea pig. Now imagine the government busting down your door because your emotional support rodent doesn't have emotional support. To enforce this, Switzerland even has guinea pig matchmaking services. Seriously. If one dies, you can rent another to keep the survivor company. Maybe Switzerland's just ahead of the curve. No chewing gum in Singapore. Singapore is one of the cleanest, most organized countries on Earth. And one of the reasons? They banned chewing gum in 1992. Backstory: vandals were sticking gum inside subway train doors, breaking the sensors, thousands in damage, public safety compromised. So the government said, no more gum. If this sounds dramatic, that's because it is. Imagine banning cookies because someone stuffed Oreos into an elevator button. Now, gum's not entirely gone. You can still get it with a prescription, usually for dental or nicotine reasons. So if you're in Singapore and desperately craving a stick of Orbit, talk to your dentist. Here's the wild part. The ban works. There's no gum on the streets, no blobs under chairs. Still weird? Yes. Kind of genius. Also, yes. Thailand deeply respects its monarchy, so much so that if you drop a coin or a banknote, you better not step on it. Why? Because Thai currency has the king's face, and stepping on the king's face, that's a criminal offense. So imagine this. You drop a few coins. They roll toward a storm drain. You try to stop them with your foot, and boom, you just disrespected the monarch in public. It might sound dramatic, but it's part of Thailand's lèse-majesté laws, which protect the dignity of the king. So yeah, tiptoe around your bot. No reincarnation without government permission in China. If you thought bureaucracy ended with death, think again. In China, monks are not allowed to reincarnate without official approval, as in, they need government paperwork to be reborn. This law, introduced in 2007, mainly targets Tibetan Buddhism, especially the Dalai Lama. China's position? We control all religious leadership, living or otherwise. Imagine applying for reincarnation like you're getting a driver's license. Form 804-B, soul transfer request, 2 passport photos, and don't forget your prior life certificate. It's surreal, and somehow very on-brand for a country that tracks your social credit score. Heaven help you if your paperwork's late. You can't die in Longyearbyen in Norway, a tiny Arctic town in Norway. Death is strongly discouraged. Because it's so cold there, bodies don't decompose. They just stay preserved for decades. In the early 1900s, they realized buried corpses weren't breaking down, so they said, no more burials here. If you get seriously ill in Longyearbyen, they fly you to the mainland to pass away. If you die unexpectedly, they fly your body out. It's the only place where you have to leave town to die. No whistling at night in Estonia. This one comes from Estonian folklore. In some rural towns, whistling at night is forbidden because it supposedly attracts evil spirits, or maybe just angry neighbors, especially if you're the guy whistling at 2 a.m. This law is more cultural than criminal now, but still, whistle at night, and you're risking ghost law and grandma rage. Save your tunes for daylight. In Samoa, forgetting your wife's birthday is a crime. Samoa doesn't mess around with birthdays. If you forget your wife's birthday, it's a punishable offense. You could face fines or community service. Think about how many birthday cards are sold out of pure fear. Forget flowers. Remembering the date might be the most romantic thing you do all year. Because in Samoa, forgetting her birthday? That's basically domestic terrorism. No public kissing on Sundays in Florida, technically. Florida has plenty of weird laws, but this one's a classic. Public kissing on Sundays was once banned. Why? Because it's the Lord's Day, and apparently, kissing was too spicy. This law still exists in some counties, though it's rarely enforced. But technically, if you're kissing in a park on a Sunday, you could get fined. So maybe just give your partner a high five until Monday. Italy, land of pasta, wine, and mandatory cheerfulness. In Milan, there's a law that says you must smile at all times in public. Unless you're at a funeral or the hospital, you'd better look happy. This law was meant to keep the public upbeat. Imagine getting fined because you looked mildly annoyed. Sir, you're violating the city's vibe. That's 60 euros. Weird? Absolutely. But in a city full of fashion and photo ops, maybe it works. Sarpurenx, France, small town, smaller cemetery. In 2008, the mayor passed a law. It is illegal to die in town, unless you've already bought a burial plot. The mayor even added, offenders will be severely punished, which is darkly hilarious because offenders are, well, dead. It started as a protest over zoning disputes, but the law got international attention. And it's still technically there. So if you plan to die in France, book early. Why are these laws still legal? Because repealing laws takes time. Because lawmakers forget. And because, in a weird way, they remind us who we used to be. Afraid of ghosts. Obsessed with order. Passionate about rodents. They're not just legal quirks. They're historical leftovers. And they're still quietly in effect. So next time you drop a coin in Thailand, whistle after dark, or forget a birthday. Remember, some laws may be forgotten, but they're still watching.